flex. Buckle up and join the best. Let City relieve your stress. So yes, let the music soothe your soul and keep it going just to refresh. Buckle and enjoy the ride from 2 to the half of the 5. Mondays to Fridays happening live. Where we gon' have a ball, you can text your guys. Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. Are you ready for the traffic avenue? Let me tell you what you really gotta do. You can count on us, we come through. We got everything you need, that's true. An applause for the traffic avenue.
Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, the Traffic Avenue. Traffic Avenue, the show for me and you. Mondays to Fridays, ooh, Traffic Avenue, oh yeah.
Detailed news, unparalleled coverage. City News on 97.3 FM.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
City News.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to Eyewitness News, coming to you live from our studios here at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka in Accra. My name is Salom Adunu. Tonight I'm here with
Eno Safo.
Coming up over the next 90 minutes.
We are believing and trusting in the statements from child rights that social welfare has completed their investigations, and that today, 12 April, she is going to be released.
Girl at the center of the Nungwa Bobu Wolomo child marriage controversy expected home from the custody of the Social Welfare Department today. We will tell you more. Also on Eyewitness News, government admits to errors in recently launched performance tracker. 67 errors discovered in 48 hours. We will try to understand what these errors are and what occasioned them. Also on Eyewitness News.
We are here to take delivery of about 14 containers of the about 182 containers that are locked up here at the port.
Ministry of Health clears 14 out of 182 containers with essential medicines stuck at the Tema port. We'll tell you more later. Stay with 97.3 Citi FM for more on this and other stories on Eyewitness News and in business.
IMF advises central banks against premature policy rate cuts as inflationary pressures remain elevated.
There is more business in the next 50 minutes. Eyewitness News is live across the country on all our affiliates and around the globe at citynewsroom.com. In the Western region, we are on Adjumpa 100.7 FM in Takwa Beach, 105.5 FM in Takrady, and Sky Power 93.5 FM also in Takrady. In the Bono region, Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In Ashanti region, Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi, and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Revival 99.3 FM in Tajavu, VOV Radio 95.7 megahertz in Hohoi. In the northern region, this is Bimbila or Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM, and Upper East region, it is Quality 88.7 FM in Gari. In the Upper West, Tungson 97.3 FM in Wa, and Jirapa 96.1 FM in Jirapa. Your comments are welcome via our WhatsApp line 0549 986 996. You can follow me on X, formerly Twitter, at Salom Adunu. The hashtag, as always, is City Newsroom. Eno gives us our first story.
The office of the Bobubulom Numo Bokitelawe the 33rd says it is expecting the arrival of Na Okromo, the 16-year-old girl allegedly married to the 63-year-old Bobubulomo today, to commence the performance of traditional rites on Sunday, April 14, 2024, ahead of the Homowo festivities. This comes after Child Rights International revealed that the Department of Social Welfare would return the 16-year-old girl to her biological parents today. Speaking to journalists, the Nungwa Mankralu Teteni Bote Kofi Frankwa II says Na Okromo would be expected to perform the rituals associated with her new role upon her return.
We are believing and trusting in the statements from Child Rights that social welfare has completed their investigations and that today, 12 April, she is going to be released. You can see from morning, almost all the elders, the town have been waiting patiently for her to come so that we welcome her back into our fold. In view of that, we're supposed to even have a sitting with one of the journalists, Okatechi, but he indicated that he will be coming with his eldest, but due to our preparation towards receiving our now Yomo Ayemwede today, we were not able to have that particular sitting because almost all the elders, one way or the other, is partaking in the preparation towards receiving now Yomo, and it's almost about 5 o'clock now. We are still hoping because the integrity of the government is at stake. We didn't come to make the promises, but the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs made all those claims on all the media platforms, both television, print, and then the social media platforms all over the place, that they are at the final stage of their investigation. And then Child Rights also indicated. So we are still hoping and believing that government will be truthful to their words. Indeed, detaining her for almost about 14 plus days. Rightly, if you are done with it, just let us have it so that she can perform a traditional rite, of which she was initiated into.
Is she coming back to her parents or coming back to the traditional authority?
I mean, she, as we have been indicating always, her upbringing has always been that, as we have said, that she is a reincarnated Yomo, whom lived with us almost about 300 years ago. And for that reason, for almost about 7 years now, she has been performing this rite. And she has always been misunderstanding between her parents and then the elderly within the community, and making sure that she is able to perform a traditional role as demand of her.
But we want to find out, without her, can't we get someone else to perform those traditional rites?
We have indicated that she has been doing this for the past 7 years. And I mean, we have to uphold our traditional rights as rightly of us. And for that matter, she's the only person. She's the only person who have been initiated to perform this particular rite. I mean, she does this and comments of the Omo festival, not only for the people of Nungwa, but for the entire Gadangbe state, because she needs to perform the domino, right? And that particular process, we have indicated, starts from this coming Sunday, which today is 12, so 13, and then 14. So on the 14th of April, she needs to start the process where she's going to take 7 days purification rite. And then also after they have detained her for almost about 14 days, we need to also perform some particular rite that we call drama, because she has been away from her duties and away from her sacred home. And for that reason, some particular rites need to be performed. That needs to be done before we can even start the process on Sunday. So the further they detain her, for us, is an affront to our tradition, customs, practices, and usages.
Nungwa Mankralo Techeni Bote Kofi Frankwa II. Away from that, the Ministry of Health has received 14 containers of free medical supplies donated by the Global Fund out of 182. The essential medical commodities, including antiretroviral drugs for HIV patients, were stuck at the Tema port for almost a year due to the government's inability to settle third-party fees. Addressing the media at the Tema port, the chief director at the Ministry of Health, Alhaji Hafiz Adam, noted that there are about 200 more containers to be cleared, being items received from the Global Fund.
Our sincere gratitude goes to the Honorable Minister of State, Honorable Abna, and all the officials from that ministry and our officers from the Ghana Revenue Authority Custom Division. For the avoidance of doubt, let him state that today we are here to take delivery of about 14 containers of the about 182 containers that are locked up here at the port. I am informed that the total cost of clearing these containers is within the neighborhood of 17 million Ghana cedis. Now let him state that from January to April 2024, there has been about 34 shipments to the Kotoka International Airport as well as the Tema port. I'm getting this from the sun. So. Now, the recent shipment of the antiretroviral drugs, about 9 containers arrived at the Tema port on 7th April 2024. And the clearing process is likely to be completed with delivery to the warehouse expected shortly, not later the 19th April 2024.
Alhaji Hafiz Adam is the Chief Director at the Ministry of Health.
And Ernest Amoabin Ochin is the president of the Ghana HIV/AIDS Network, the civil society organization in the health sector that actually broke this particular story. Ernest, good evening, welcome to Eyewitness News. You should be happy that some progress is being made following your bringing to light this particular matter.
Okay, thank you very much, and very good evening to your listeners as well. Yes, indeed, we find this new development as very welcoming. This was the essence of the press conference that we held to make sure that we bring this issue out so that duty bearers would act. And we are very grateful that there has been this response, and today these containers have come out. We see the 14 coming out as a symbolic gesture. We have had background discussions with the various officials, and we have been assured that starting from Monday, all the commodities will start coming out.
But tell us, what was the situation? So is it that without your press conference, we wouldn't have had any success and the containers with the medicines would have still been at the port? Is that the picture?
Well, to be very honest with you, we've often described this situation as mind-boggling because as far as we know, the commodities were donated by the Global Fund free of charge. We are also aware that the Global Fund made available some funds for the clearance, except that government at that time was saying that there were some levies, the ECOWAS levy, AU levy, and COVID-19 recovery levy. And then also, we had also increased our port charges. So all of this made the cost go up. So the Global Fund was asked to pay some more. And then they also indicated that they have a framework agreement with the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Finance. And per that framework agreement, they're not supposed to pay taxes and levies. And besides, they do shipments to other countries, and nowhere in the world do they encounter this difficulty. So they're not going to add an extra dime. So as far as we know, that was what was causing the delay.
So you then blew the alarm, and our government, to the best of your knowledge, has found some money to clear this.
Well, the new Commissioner General, and we did off our hearts to him for her intervention. Just the day we had the press conference, in the morning, she actually came to our office and indicated that the issue was coming to her attention for the very first time. And fortunately, she's also a former board member of the Global Fund. So she understands the nuances very well. And so she then stepped in, and thankfully, today we are where we are today.
So we understand that there are tuberculosis medicines, antiretroviral drugs, etc. What can you tell us about the expiry dates of these drugs and other, health necessaries, given that they've been there for about a year or more?
Yes, in our press conference, we expressed worry over the storage conditions of the commodities, because from the village, we know that most of the drugs will be expiring in 2025. But then the storage conditions is a matter of concern. And then also, when it comes to deployment of the medications to the health facilities across the country, it also takes some time. And then also the shelf life, even when at the health facility, if the plan was for these commodities to be consumed over a 1 year or 2 year period, now we're going to have a shorter time to consume them. So if you're not careful, these drugs will come and we may not be able to use them, and then the expiry will now be staring us in our faces. So we are very worried, but then we are getting assurance that they have inspected them and they are in very good condition and they are wholesome.
Have we heard from the Global Fund since, obviously this would have come to their attention that drugs and other things they've donated to us, are lying somewhere without being cleared because of lack of money, etc. What have they been saying? Do we know?
Yes, all that they have been saying, we indicated them in our press conference. That one, there was a team from the Global Fund that visited the country last month, and they followed up on the matter, but then they still were not able to resolve it. So after the time they were leaving, the debriefing meeting they held with us. And coincidentally, that meeting was held at the Ministry of Health. And so at that meeting, they indicated that until we clear the goods at the airports, they were not going to send us additional commodities. They made that clear to us. Number two, there is also a co-financing letter that we have to sign. And if you can give me just 30 seconds, I can explain that. What happens is that each time Global Fund gives a grant to any country, the funding request that you make, they take up a certain percentage, and then they ask the government to also contribute a certain percentage. Now, that percentage doesn't go to them, but the government is supposed to use it to buy additional commodities. So, for example, the current grant that we are operating is from 2024 up to 2026, worth over $240 million. Ghana is supposed to make about 15%, counterpart funding. And that funding is not supposed to go to Global Fund, but government is supposed to commit it over a 3-year period to acquire additional commodities in support of our health system. So that letter was supposed to have been signed in May last year. But strangely enough, that letter has also not been signed, and the Global Fund is not happy about that.
I see. Thank you so much. Ernest Amoabin Ochin, President of the Ghana HIV/AIDS Network, speaking to us tonight on this very important matter. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. Now let's speak to authority. Let's speak to government. Let's speak to the Ministry of Health. Its head of public relations, Isaac Baofe, has joined us on the line to provide some answers as well. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. So can you confirm to us how many containers were there in all and how many of them have been cleared so far?
Yes, so for the year 2023, between May and December, we had 467 containers. We've cleared 253, leaving 182. The 182 today, we cleared 14 containers, hoping to get the rest released by next week. Now, the 182 containers that we have at the port, we must say that there had not been any antiretroviral drugs among the 182. But as a ministry, we don't have preferences to which commodity is so essential than the other. And so when it's 182, our target is to clear 182 containers from the port. We are fortunate that today we've been able to clear the 40 containers out, and then the remaining 167 containers will be cleared hopefully next week. And that has to do with the mosquito nets.
So the 182 containers, less the 14, only contains mosquito nets?
Yes, please. It's 167, all contain mosquito nets.
I see. But for people who will be surprised at this, that somebody gives us something for free, why was it so difficult for the government of Ghana to clear it from the ports? You see, we received a little over 450 containers last year between May and December, and we've been able to clear 253, leaving the 182. Now, what happened is that at every point in time that we receive consignment from Global Fund, we put in requests and follow the normal processes by which we are able to clear those goods from the port. It has gotten to a point where if it is government that is receiving the donation, it is government that is also going to receive all taxes attached to it, and it is the same government that is going to use the commodity, then we should look at how to crack the bottleneck, so that as and when we have our commodities at the port, we don't go through those processes to say that we are going to clear them. We go there with our vehicles, we go, and then we offload our goods, and then we leave. These things don't happen at the port, at the airport. When we have our commodities coming from the airport, we don't have those challenges. It is only when they come through harbor that we have those challenges. And so the committee sat down, they break the bottleneck, and we believe that it's good that we are able to get here. Going forward, such issues will never come up again. So what has the Global Fund been telling you in your discussion? This should be very embarrassing for the state of Ghana, that the Global Fund gives you something for free and we are unable to clear it, even though we need the drugs and the medical, necessaries. You see, from Global Fund perspective and Government of Ghana perspective, there is a common agreement between government and Global Fund. And so, as a country, we cannot say that we've not been able to clear the goods from the port. Like I said, we never received the 457 containers in a day. They came in batches. The last consignment came in November, some came in December. And so it's something that we've been clearing up. If you could remember, somewhere around June last year, this same issue came up, which led to clearing of a number of containers from the port. So it's not like we have these 182 or 456 containers as stated at the port that we've never cleared, and they all came in May. No. They came in sequence. So we have some drugs that arrived last year, December, which we worked towards clearing them. We've realized that there is the need for this bottleneck to be taken out, so that just as we go to the airport to clear our commodities, if you could remember when COVID-19 was savaging us, we go to airport, we stand there, our goods arrive, we take them, and then we leave. So we just want to have that same system running at the port, so that we don't have to go through this payment system and all that. And normally, you have your goods at the port. By the time you finish 1 week, then you have the garages also coming up to say that we want to charge you for some amount and all that. These are the things that we want to avoid. We are happy government has come in. We are happy that government has taken this bottleneck off. Going forward, we hope that we work assiduously to ensure that such issues don't repeat themselves again. So government is taking this bottleneck off in respect of this particular consignment. What is the real challenge with making this arrangement permanent? Because, like you stated, it's been happening over and over again. Why can't we have a discussion led by the Ministry of Health, or the minister himself or whoever, with his counterpart in the other ministry, so we deal with this matter once and for all? Yeah, so if you look at the statement delivered by the Ghana Revenue Authority, this is not about the solution is not only for these particular commodities. It carries on that this is what we're going to do. So we're going to follow the processes
by this achievement. It's not like we have this privilege to use only for these particular commodities, but it's a privilege that we use to clear all goods that come from our donors. We have UNICEF giving us drugs. We have other counterparts, other development partners giving us drugs from the port. So this same application will go across all. And we believe that is a good news for us. Just that the reportage stated that we have 456 containers antiretroviral drugs lying at the port since May. But it is never so. The starting point was May, but the ending point was in December. And between May to December, we've been able to clear 250 above. We have 182. That alone means that we've been going through some processes in ensuring that we clear those goods from the port. It's rather unfortunate that this come before the media platforms, but we are assuring Ghanaians that we will not get here anymore.
You know, people think that if the Ghana HIV/AIDS network, for example, hadn't raised the alarm, these containers would still have been there, and people would have been in need of the supplies that were lying at the port. That is quite concerning.
I'll find time to be with you next week at your studios, and I'll give you documentation indicating that this engagement started as far back early March last year, where Honorable Osla also led the team, Honorable Abena, Minister of Finance, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Health, held a meeting and they started the process to ensure that this bottleneck is taken out. So it is not because of this press statement that led to this. It is something that we have started the process already.
But will you admit that the press statement or the press briefing by the Ghana HIV networks, the HIV/AIDS network, fast-tracked the process? Will you admit that?
Because of the consistency of it, because it coincides with the timely delivery from the port. You have a statement coming out within the week, and in the same week, you have the goods coming out. Ideally, everybody would think that it is because of the statement. But when you even want to look at the port clearing system, when you have task clearance from the ministry, you are allowed to go and clear your goods. It doesn't just take 1 week to have those goods cleared. So we believe that, well, we are Ghanaians, we are citizens of this country, and it is our duty to hold us, our own self accountable. So whatever we have with our partner, the CCM, is a wake-up call for all of us. We appreciate their effort, and we believe that we work together. We are in partnership with them. We appreciate their effort, but that will also motivate us to work more harder and harder.
I see. And this is obviously not it's not an isolated instance. Of course, we've heard many people say that, they've tried to ship, medical supplies to Ghana for free because they run NGOs, etc. abroad, but they were told that they will be responsible for taxes and duties at the port. And so because of that, they rather diverted them or rerouted them to other countries or neighboring countries, which would take them without they having to pay for duties. What's the logic really? We are in need of something. Somebody wants to give it to us, and we want the person to pay for taxes and duties as well.
Yes, my brother, I will believe that this is one gate listing. One said that, and then Ministry of Finance will also have a reason why the person will have to use some other alternative. Sometimes we have the issue out there, but when you get to the officer in charge and you listen to their side of the story, you see that it's a different thing altogether. So I will reserve this particular response for Ministry of Finance to respond, because they give us the task clearance, and as to when they met those group of NGOs that have agreed to give us commodities and all that, I think that we should allow Ministry of Finance to come in. And then if an NGO wants to give us commodities, it has to come through the Ministry of Health. And so if you have an NGO saying that I've gone to Ministry of Finance to go and get clearance and I've been denied, those commodities that you intended bringing them into the country, who assess them, who testify them, who thinks that this particular commodity is what we need in the country as a country? So I will leave that one for Ministry of Finance to come in. But I don't think as a Ministry of Health, we were ever denied such assessments. We were not.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Isaac Ba-Ofe, Head of Public Relations, Ministry of Health, for speaking to us on this matter on Eyewitness News. Thank you so much. Now let's do some of your messages that have been coming through. Aka Paul Jr. in Alpha Mim says we should not not be in a hurry to pass judgment on the cultural practices of the Ghana people. Instead, we should seek answers to why custodians of our rich cultural values and norms will engage in such a culture as a way of life of a given society, and that's in respect of the Nungwa matter that we brought to you a while ago. Now, Jones Adoboy in La says, good evening, Salam. When modernity interferes with culture, there is always a compromise. Therefore, still insisting to go ahead to initiate the little girl is problematic. Ghanaians are not angry enough, you say. John in Kufruda says, so after donating the drugs to Ghana, they should now bear the cost of clearing them from the port. What a country called Ghana, you say. Uncle Gideon in Tatali says, good evening, Citi FM. If the government itself has problems to clear goods at the harbour, how about the ordinary person? See, a lot is going on. Well, that is badly happening in Ghana. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM. We'll take a short break. We'll return with more. Don't go away.
Eyewitness News. Be there as it happens.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa! Bobo, so how your engine now? It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you can feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that? Yes, so somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panzapa. Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz? No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer. Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design? It's superb. Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency. Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry. Chairman. Hey, Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Are you feeling tired after a hard day's work? Have you lost your appetite even for your favorite dish? Viral Blood Tonic is a nutritionally balanced, pleasant-tasting tonic fortified with iron and vitamins to boost your appetite and energy levels for high performance. Viral Blood Tonic, easy to take and good for the whole family. Viral from Danex Iting Starwin PLC. If symptoms persist after 48 hours, consult a physician. This advert is FDA approved.
Ladies and gentlemen, Telecel is here!
Telecel, connecting energies.
Let your voice be heard on Eyewitness News on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag Eyewitness News.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. All 9 aspirants contesting in the New Patriotic Party's parliamentary primary in the Ajusu constituency in the Ashanti region have wrapped up their campaign activities ahead of the polls on Saturday. The Electoral Commission has scheduled April 30 for the by-election in the area to replace John Kuma, the MP for the constituency who died last month. While the opposition National Democratic Congress is yet to decide on whether to contest the by-election, the NPP is conducting a primary tomorrow to choose a candidate. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Hafiz Ijani has more details in this report.
After the New Patriotic Party vetted and placed all 9 aspirants in respective positions on the ballot, there have been intensive campaign activities. A total of 1,081 delegates are expected to vote in Saturday primary, and aspirants are making frantic efforts to engage, if not all, but the majority of them. Former president of the Ghana Football Association, Kwesi Nyantechi, says the feedback from the delegates has been positive as he talks about his vision for the constituency when giving the nod.
My motto for this election is Ejusum Puntu Ntuaso, meaning I am here to continue the good works initiated by our former MP. That's the first point. The second point is that I also intend to introduce many initiatives that will add value to the lives of the people.
He admits that past issues he was embroiled in during his days at the Ghana Football Association cannot be overlooked, but said he remains focused going into the contest.
I remain focused on what I'm pursuing.
Helena Mensah, the presiding member for the Ejisu Municipal Assembly, has been preaching women and youth empowerment to the delegates and is convinced her messages are hitting the right chords.
The chances is very clear. You can see that the winning is coming, but I'm still working on it. By this time, Saturday, you hear Helena Mensah is the winner.
A former assembly member for the Onwe electoral area, Klinsman Kakari Mensah, the youngest of the 9 aspirants, insists he has served the constituency and should be given the chance.
This community is the community where the MP was staying, and the next town is where the MP is from, or his hometown, the late Dr. John Ampuntua Kuma. I've been with him, worked with him, and I have studied a lot from him. So when he was the member of parliament, I was also the member of assembly member in this electoral area.
Aaron Prince Dua, a former assembly member for the Esenimpon electoral area, is asking delegates to choose wisely and says most of the aspirants are new faces taking advantage of the situation at hand.
I've been electoral area coordinator for 4 years. I'm part of regional communication team. I've been with the party. All the activities of the party, you will see me. So when I saw those who are popping up, and I said, how and why? All these names, we haven't seen them doing any party activities in the Ejisu here. But now they are in. So why should we sit down, fold arms, and allow them as if we don't have anybody from this constituency?
Dr. Evans Dua, a lecturer at Akentin Apiaminka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development, who calls the late Ejisu MP his friend and brother, says he's winning with a huge margin.
The mission I have is Ejisu Dachi in Tuaso. When my friend and my brother was actually coming, he had Ejisu Dachi Mreni, which he wanted to tell the people that the things that we are hoping for, what we are doing today is bringing us that hope, and for that reason, we should have it now. And I'm saying that all the hope he gave them and every aspirations and desires that he made it look possible for them, we would come and will continue with that particular one.
The second vice chairman for the constituency, Kobna Boatin, speaks about his touch with the delegates and maintains he should be chosen.
Looking at the work I have done, how I have lived with the people, how I have, contributed my quota to the party and Ejisu generally, together with the fact that the balloting I had won, I think there's some divinity, orchestrating or inclining, in my favor.
The wife of Bunu Regional Chairman of MPP, Abrunya DC, Portia Echampong Abrunya, says she is determined to lead.
I'm determined and capable. I want to take care of my people. So I think I am well and able to do the needful.
Abina Pokuya Amwa, popularly called Ejisu Bruni, is not giving up after contesting the party's primary for the 5th time.
What keeps me running is the fact that I know that the people, they still love me, even when I lose. When I even lose, I come back and they still come to me.
Mamia Abwaji, a downstream consultant in the petroleum industry, contested the by-election at Ayawaso West Wuogon, and she's eyeing the Ejisu seats this time around.
Okay, what I'm bringing on board is unity. Because unity has always been my hallmark. This is not the first time I've contested an election. And when it wasn't successful, that was in Ayawaso, I didn't neglect the delegates.
Banners and posters of these 9 aspirants are everywhere in communities within the Ejisu constituency as the aspirants make a final push in meeting delegates to sell their messages to them. Whichever be the case, one of these aspirants will lead in the Saturday's primary. Hafiz Tijani, City News, Ejisu, Ashanti region.
All right, so that was a report from Hafiz Tijani, a man in the Ashanti region. And indeed, the elections will happen tomorrow, and you can trust 97.3 Citi FM to be your home of all that matters in that election. Interviews, analysis, etc. We'll be there to bring you every single thing you need. Hafiz once again has joined us to provide us some more details. Hello, Hafiz. Welcome again to Eyewitness News. Talk to us about preparations. What has happened since you filed the report we just played?
So, aspirants are not supposed to do campaign because tomorrow is the election, 24 hours to the election day. They are not supposed to go about campaigning, but that is still happening, though not something that is so physical, but some of the aspirants are still trying to reach out to the delegates on the last day so they can make their final push to get them to vote for them in tomorrow's election. So the party says all is set for the election. They have informed the Electoral Commission. They have also informed the Ghana Police Service, which will be providing security at the Forestry Commission Training Center located at the Echakrum in Ejisu, where the election would be conducted, or which will be the venue for the election tomorrow. So all is set for the election. All aspirants have tried to meet all the delegates in the 28 electoral areas, 1,081 of them, trying to sell their messages and also tell them what they want to do for the constituency and the kind of vision they have for the constituency and how they want to project the constituency and also what they have for the party. So in all, everything is set for tomorrow's election, Selo.
Yes, in the general parliamentary primaries of the MPP, there were claims and allegations and even in some cases videos or evidence of some form of vote buying or the other. Are we seeing similar things in this particular contest? Branded souvenir, branded appliances and all of that. Are we seeing any such thing? Money's changing hands here and there, very open in public, etc. Are we seeing anything like that?
Well, we have not seen that, but we have put questions to some of these aspirants when we engage them. They have said that they give TNT to these delegates whenever they meet them, because most of them will have to travel to at some point or the meeting center to meet these aspirants to listen to them. They leave their business places, their workplaces, and come to them. So they would have to refund or give them some form of TNT to and from their destination. So they are not branding this as some form of vote buying or something to convince them to vote for them, but they are saying this is just TNT to aid their transportation to the meeting grounds. But usually you see some of these things happening on election day where you have bottled water branded and food in packs branded, meat pies and other eateries or some form of short biscuits and other form of eateries branded for some of these delegates on election day. But for the meeting of these delegates, some of the aspirants admit that they only give them this kind of TNT to be able to meet them and listen to their messages, and they don't term this one as vote buying.
I see. Talk to me about the independent candidate, the former MP for the area. How much of an impact is he bringing to this race so far? Of course, his election is not tomorrow, but is he a major talking point in the constituency?
Well, the focus has been on the 9 aspirants who are campaigning to lead the party in terms of the party's parliamentary candidates. So that is the focus now for many in the constituency. Though the constituency is still mourning its late MP, but they believe that someone from the 9 aspirants should be able to replicate what the member of parliament, the late member of parliament, was doing for the constituency in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of youth empowerment, in terms of creating jobs for the teeming youth, and also improving the concerns and also improving all sectors of infrastructure in terms of roads, educational infrastructure, and also health infrastructure in the constituency. The MPP is dominating the constituency. So you talk to people, they tell you about they voting for the Elephant Party. They know the Elephant Party, and whoever the Elephant Party or the MPP is presenting, they would want to go in that tangent in voting for this person, not necessarily looking at personalities, but they are focused on voting for the party and not someone who would come as in a person. So they have been urging the constituents themselves, who are also supporters of the MPP, are urging the delegates to choose someone who can project the name of the constituency as the late MP was doing or was trying to do. So they would want someone who can lead the party so that the constituents who are not delegates, who will not be voting tomorrow, can vote for that person in the 2024 general election and also in the upcoming by-election. So the focus now is on the primaries for the NPP. They would want to see someone who can be projected or who can help project the name of the Ejisu constituency and also make an impact in the Ejisu constituency. Much of the talk of an independent candidate has not come up, maybe because the by-election fever has not set in the constituency. But people think that this is the time for the primaries, so the concentration is on the primaries.
All right. Thank you so much. Before you go, for those of us who follow sports and are followers of politics as well, we are interested in what's happening to Kwesi Nyantakyi. How is he doing so far in the race?
Well, he's very fine. When we met him yesterday, he said he has met about 90% of the delegates, and the responses have been very good and positive for him so far. And he thinks that he's winning. He has a big vision for the constituency. He would want to continue what the late MP was doing in terms of bringing development and empowering the youth in the area. But he says that people are trying to distract him, and he is focused. He says that his past life is his past life, and he is not perfect. He makes mistakes. He admits that things that have happened in the past cannot be erased, but he is focused on this new life he wants to live. He wants to bring smiles onto the people of Ejisu, and that is what he is focusing on.
Very well. Thank you so much, Hafiz Tijani, our man in the Ashanti region. And in fact, we'll bring you all the important stories from this particular election tomorrow in Ejisu. Eyewitness News on 97.3 Citi FM, and we'll have some more stories.
Anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim has urged the Office of the Special Prosecutor to release part of its investigations into activities at the Scholarship Secretariat. The OSP, in a response to a petition by a deputy youth organizer of the NDC to look into the operations of the Scholarship Secretariat, said it was already investigating the issue since July 2023. The Scholarship Secretariat has come under intense scrutiny for its activities following a recent investigative report by the Fourth Estate, which which indicate that individuals aligned with influential politicians benefited from scholarship opportunities. Speaking to City News on the report, Vitus Azim said though he believes very little can be done by the OSP, it ought to tell Ghanaians the level of its investigations so far.
I cannot be sure. Some of us are very pessimistic about some of these activities because it's only after the petition that we heard that they are investigating this thing altogether. No, but the information was not in the public domain. So why all of a sudden now they are telling the public that they are investigating? So that already raises some eyebrows, you see, and that's a concern of what will happen. And as you know, all previous investigations by the OSP, we haven't actually got the details of these things. And it's a worry. I don't think that much can be done from this. Yes, see, because of the way these things go, at least the special prosecutor should always make his findings public, so that if no action is taken against the people that are found culpable, at least it will be made public that these people have contravened the laws. They have behaved inappropriately.
Anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim. A political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University